Hello, everyone. My name is Nizzar Ben Chekroune, and I usually enter the scene always using a music that says a lot about what I want to say. This one says, I see no changes. It's from Tupac. And I like it because it says a lot about our industry, what has changed. And if you look at things from the past standpoint, understanding how society moved for the past centuries, you will see that not much changed in our behavior. It's just the tools that have changed. So when I was asked to actually design a talk for NFC and what I could speak about, I thought it would be cool to tell you how we survived, but not from the NFTs collection standpoint, but more from the collectors, the so-called builders, the humans behind what you see as pictures or Twitter posts or whatever, how we survived this crash. And one sentence that changed my thinking about it is a sentence that says, healing and change is traumatizing. So it was a trauma for me, a deep trauma as a human being to witness things going from zero to hero, back to zero with a blink of an eye. And what I'm about to share with you now is my story from my standpoint. I wish that this story is going to give you an idea of how things are possible in a world where we tell you that there is a lack, that it's difficult for you to succeed, it's difficult for you to be heard, difficult for you to be seen, whether you are a woman or a man or a transgender or whatever you want to call yourself. We tell you that it's going to be hard, and I hope that my story is going to show you that it's possible. So I was born and raised in Marrakesh in '85. I grew up, went to Europe to do my studies, get back home, lived the 2008 crisis, was very hard for me to find a job, worked all over in marketing, doing a lot of stuff, got married, have two kids, two wonderful kids. Aidan is 10, Milan is 4. And COVID happened. And when COVID happened, there was a switch in our world. That was a slow switch that those who were awakened or tried to awaken their soul felt something was shifting in our behavior, in the way we experience the world. That's why a lot of couples split after COVID, because life was not answering our needs. And at that moment, I was broke. I couldn't pay my bills. I didn't know how I could survive. I was selling marketing, so it was very hard in my country. And I was following a guy that you may know called Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary V. And Gary V spoke about NFTs in such a way that it attracted my attention. And as a marketer, I like the fact that he said, I am going to bring utility to NFTs. That rang the bell to me, something that may be beautiful or not, it's just a matter of taste. In the previous panel, they were saying that people were proud to say my PFP is art, this is not art. Art is subjective. If I like my PFP or my picture or my feet picture and I say it's art, I have the right to say so. So people that say this is art, this is not art, they have a lack of empathy. So I didn't see it from that standpoint. I saw it from the utility standpoint. That being said, I love art in my own way. So when I started to try to understand how blockchain, NFTs or whatever works, I needed to convert crypto and understand all that. We are in April 2021. So at that moment, finding information was very hard. You didn't have those guys on YouTube saying, buy this, do it this way. You had to go through a loop of very dangerous, difficult things where you could lose your money. So I'm like, okay, I follow what Gary was saying. And he said, if you want to succeed in that market, with any market you try to succeed in, you have to do your 50 hours of homework. So I started doing my homework in my own way. I'm a curious guy, so it was easy to jump from a place to another. And he also said, buy something. So my goal was to mint a VFriend. But then I need to understand how it works. So I go on OpenSea, open OpenSea, first time, oh, looks like eBay, early eBay for me. Like, okay. I scroll up and down, check the pictures, and I see this monkey looking at me. I like it. I'm like, yeah, that's art. For me, is art. Was tapping into a place that is nostalgia. The picture itself, the colors, whatever it said to me what I liked from the shows that I was watching when I was 8 or 9. So I go deeper in my research and I go to their website and they say they were still minting at the time. We're the 1st May 2021. And the website says the first thing we do when we make it, we reimburse our mothers. And that day was the day of my mother's birthday. So I'm like, I'm going to buy it. So I buy it. The cost at that time is 0.17 ETH in the second market. And then you can choose your Bored Ape. At that time, I have no idea. I only think, okay, numbers. So I think because it has some kind of number, I love you too. I see you. So, so I think, okay, the number will matter, which is the case now with ordinals. But at that time, it didn't. I thought it would matter, but it didn't. Like the traits would matter. Is it like a gold ape or whatever? So I had gold apes in front of me, and I didn't take gold apes because I was like, nah, not taking a crown ape. Nah, I'm gonna take a cool one with merch. So I get it. It's like $600, I think at that time, 0.17 ETH. I tell my wife, and she's about to leave me. She's like, "You fucking crazy! You lost it. We're struggling as fuck, and you buying pictures of monkeys. What the fuck is going on with you?" And I'm like, "No, there's this and this and that." And then I go to the rabbit hole. I go to Discord. I gotta learn about the sense of community. And as much as I have friends and I have a lot in my life, and I'm very lucky about that, I have people who love me and I love them back. So I didn't have that sense of lack in terms of love, but I had that sense of lack in terms of community. I lived in a country where I felt my country is amazing. I invite you to visit Morocco. It's fantastic. But at that time, it was difficult to interact with people. It took a lot of time. So I had that lack of interaction with people. So being in that Discord with people making sounds of monkeys and discussing about life and helping you understand some stuff felt like home to me. So I bought that ape, started discussions, and started rethinking my ideas of what community would be in the future. So I started looking at this from the perspective of the marketer that I am inside of me. And I'm thinking, I need to buy more, but I don't have money. So how do you do that? I want to work more, but work is difficult. So what I do is that whenever I make some kind of money for home, paying rent or whatever, I use half of it to buy NFTs. Sorry. So I would buy cool cats, minting gutter cats. You remember cool cats. We're coming to that soon. Yeah, he bought his first NFT in a dinner. I say, go buy a Bored Ape. And he's like, I'm not spending 1 ETH on that. I'm going to buy a cool cat. That's another story. But then, yeah, I'm buying stuff and I'm trying to tell my friends, this is Bitcoin for $10. You don't know what's going on. And my friends, some works in the city and they're like, you crazy. This is a bubble, is going to burst. I'm like, yes, it's going to burst. But now it's Bitcoin at $10. You got to jump in. Of course, I'm the craziest guy in the room, buying pictures of monkeys and cats and making sounds with his phone. So, okay, I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to listen to nobody and I'm going to go with my vision. So now the things that I bought for a small amount of money is going up. So then I'm like, okay, I like it. I like the art. I want to have more because I like it. But then I also want to have a voice. I'm from a country where if you're there, even if you're in France or Italy, and if you want to be heard by people in the US, they won't unless you're already famous in your country. So I had to find a loophole. How can I be heard? And I understand that in that community at that time, they would take you seriously if you have punks. They would take you seriously if you have apes. and they would take you very seriously if you have a lot of them. So I'm like, how can I make it? Life is kind to me and has ever been to me. So I'm very thankful. I received a call from someone saying, hey, that I knew I worked with somehow, sometimes in my life. How you doing? I'm doing fine. I found something that is fantastic. It's going to revolutionize internet. It's called NFTs. I was like, I heard about it, but I'm not interested very much. I'm into crypto. I made some money. What is it? I tell him, it's this, this, and that. I made that amount of money. And I remember I said, I don't have enough money to pay school for my kids 2 months from now. My bag is worth $30,000 right now. And I'm not living before $500,000, which will happen half a year to a year from now. That's how deep conviction I have about this. He's like, seriously? I'm like, seriously. And nobody's going to change my mind. It's like, how much do you need? I'm like, I don't know. 20 ETH? I still have 5 minutes. I'm going to use them right. Like 20 ETH? Yeah, I think I'm going to do something with that. Let's buy some apes and do something. So he looks at the graphics because I tell him, look at the numbers. And he's like, I'm going to give you $1 million. I'm like, oh. He's like, yeah, there is something happening in there and I don't have time to do it. Let's split. Let's do a joint venture. You'll be the brain, I'll be the money. I'll take care of that. You have no idea how to make money. I'll help you to change your life forever. And I'll help you deeply. That guy was a mentor to me. Turned out the story went sour, future, but I learned a lot. So what we did is that I took everything that I had, put it in one basket with him, because it was difficult at that time. My country had a, let's say, a blur line of regulation. So we created a fund. I created the first NFT funds ever in the world in July 2021. Fundraising $1.5 million, buying a lot of Bored Apes, a lot of punks. And after that, I started traveling the world. And I was like, okay, now that I have a voice, because everybody knows that I created that fund, I need more money. And to put my mouth where my money is. And also I need to travel the world and speak about it everywhere, speak about my conviction about what is happening, which is Internet 95 under adrenaline. I said, this is a bubble. It's going to burst within 1 year. Because at that time, between 95 and 2000, there was no internet. There was no tool to exchange information. So what happened is that I felt that it would burst, but there will be survivors. So the strategy at that time, let's buy the survivors and let's buy other stuff so that we get to know more the ecosystem, more the communities, and let's flip everything to the survivors. So we've been buying everything at a high scale, from crypto digbutts to World of Women to anything. So I had the chance to enter every community. Then in 2022, as you may all know, something happened. Luna happened. And then after that, FTX happened and everything crashed. And I saw my life going from heaven to hell in terms of, it's not that I love money, but in terms of security for my life, you know? I went from not paying my rent to more than $5 million to nothing, okay? With a blink of an eye. So you have to recover from that. So how do you recover as a human being when you basically lose everything because of your behaviors or the way you trusted someone or whatever? The only way to do that is to find and tap inside of you to the place where love is built. Nobody can help you with that. Your family, your kids, your daughter, your friends that loves you, they can't help you with that. So you got to tap inside the love part of you. Love you back, to have the strength to continue building. And after that, took me 6 months, 9 months, and then I started building back because I love this space. Started building with my friends. Can you drop me this? Yeah. So if you know me, you know I'm a member of Banana Corp that I built with my friend Sander Gansen. We're building the biggest conference in the Nordics and Eastern Europe called Banana Conference. We're building events all over the world. We have an event tonight here. We had one in Paris. We'll have one in Hong Kong, one in Copenhagen. And I build with friends like Julian and Shocks, and we're building like Masks. I don't know if you heard about it. Masks is the first social token on Optimism, top 3 yesterday on the ranking. I'm building with my friend Gabriele, from a former CMO of Ferrari, Valentino, Diesel. One of one is one of the biggest changing thing that will happen in this space, which is liquid DNA and how you can track anything using a liquid. You're going to know more about that because I'm going to be ambassador for the brand next year. And the only way, once again, to survive is to create more love first for you. Then look around you, they will love you back, and then you will open back like a flower. And that change and that healing that is traumatizing will happen to be life again. So that was my story, and I thank you so much for listening to me. I love you all, and I wish you the best. Thank you so much.